I know the fit's going to hit the shan for me wearing this hat, but god dag nabbit, it's a good hat. Next on MLR Weekly, infiltrating Free Jacks country with head coach Scott Mathie, captain Josh Larsen, plus Rugby Morning's Coffee Break with John Fitzpatrick. Rugby Wrap-Up brought to you in part by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, the world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle. Hey, welcome back to this week's MLR Weekly as presented by Rugby Wrap-Up, Matt McCarthy in New York City, but not for long because I'm headed into the bunker, the mint, if you will, of the New England Free Jacks. But first, we have our recurring segment, Rugby Morning's Coffee Break with John Fitzpatrick. John, what do you got for us?
Chicago Hounds, they've announced the signing of USA International scrum half Michael Baska. Baska spent last season in France in the Pro D2. But he returns to MLR. He previously spent time with Utah Warriors and Nola Gold.
And Pro D2, I hope he has a new hairdo because he's always got good ones that I'm jealous of. Next!
Chicago also announced the signing of block Duke Krishnan. Duke is the first Malaysian player to play in MLR.
And he's the great nephew of Duke Ellington. Next!
Rugby New York, New York Ironworkers have announced the re-signing of Pongo Haini. Pongo missed much of last season, but it looks like he might be in line to take your old job, Matt.
Pongo Hakma Haini is a legend on and off the pitch. You're right, he could take my job in a second, but he's having too much fun on the pitch. Next!
San Diego Legion, they've announced the return of USA International fly half Will Hooley. Hooley was injured a little bit last season, but he's back with San Diego for 2023.
The future, James Bond, the dashing Will Hooley. Great in the broadcast booth, but he can put that on hold for now because he's back on the pitch. Great pickup. Next.
The Toronto Arrows have released new jerseys for the 2023 season. More of a traditional, classic, typical Canadian look. Blue and white. Looks good. Solid.
How do you know what a typical Canadian look is? That is insulting. You're not Canadian. That's insulting.
Eh?
Next!
Rugby ATL, they've unveiled some new rebranding. A brand new logo, some new colors. They're green, they're peach, they're blue. Wild times in Atlanta. Hot Atlanta.
I think the Rattlers are a team that should be watched. They could sneak up on you and strike at any moment. Next!
Matt, that's all I got.
All right, and that is this week's Rugby Morning's Coffee Break with John Fitzpatrick. Thank you, John. All right, don't go away because we have more. We have the captain of the New England Free Jacks, Josh Larsen, right after this.
Selling or trading in your vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. With Easy Trade, start online or visit us in store. We want your vehicle, and we'll give you up to 125% of KBB value.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's MLR Weekly as presented by Rugby Wrap-Up. Matt McCarthy, not in New York City, but in Free Jacks country. That's right, Quincy, Massachusetts, at the Mint with Captain Josh Larsen of the Free Jacks. Josh, good to see you.
Matt, great to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Mate, quickly, that hat suits you. Looks really good. Where'd you get it?
You know why I'm wearing this Woodgy hat, Josh?
Why is that, Matt?
Because I can be bought. Very simple. And you guys are on avant-garde, outside-the-box thinking club, realizes the value of buying me out.
I love that.
All right?
Good stuff, mate. Yeah.
Go Free Jacks and Woodgy.
Free Jacks, love that. You heard it here first. Go
Edit
Free
that
Jacks.
out, Johnny, or I'm going to get killed when I get back to New York. That's why I got the hero to villain shirt, too, because New York fans might be a little bit ticked off. But, hey, this is all good stuff. This is a great new facility. You guys are on the up and up. Last year, very successful year. 10 wins in a row. You had a gut-wrenching loss, one gut-wrenching loss away from the championship against Seattle. How do you feel? What's the carryover, if any? Is it positive? How do you handle it? You are the incumbent captain, after all.
Yeah, I mean that loss still stings a bit, to be honest. But yeah, no, I mean that not making that hurt, especially after the season we had. But look, like I think we're really proud of where we went, but we were really reflective on like what went wrong. You know,
what did go wrong?
Well, I mean, good question. Like we sort of sat down as like a leadership and coaching group and just sort of said, look, where are some areas that we could get a lot better at, and just especially in that later half of the season. You know, it's always been a challenge of ours to to make sure that, you know, we've got all these road games at the start, where we're at in that circumstance, and coming home really doing a strong stretch. I think we've probably just, around our bye weeks and stuff, to be honest with you, we probably, I don't know how well we attack those in terms of preparation and yeah, just getting that balance right of having some time off as well as coming in. So I think we're better prepared for that this year, mate. But yeah, also just obviously New York played them 3 times, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe
that familiarity, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we knew they had some big guns coming in and stuff so like that. So yeah, like I said, that still stings, but I think just doing some reflection, we've brought in a few different changes here that we're looking at to just keep us rolling throughout the year. And yeah, I'm excited where we're going to go this year.
And you also had that odd scheduling quirk where you guys played 3 regular season games against each other, right? And then then in the playoffs.
Yeah, we also had the round 18 against,
right,
then the bye, and then played them again. So
yeah,
that's fine. That is what it is. But yeah, like I said, that really still hurts. But I think we'll park that and we'll revisit it. But I know there's some few boys here still real hurting from that.
You got Quatrin, Cole Keith, Spencer Jones, and Lesage, all from the Arrows. It's a pretty significant move with these players coming in.
No, it is, yeah. And I think, yeah, it's kind of closer to home being on the East Coast out here for them, and they love it. They want it. A lot of them want to come to America and experience American culture and stuff. And I think what a better place than Boston, eh? Like,
and now you got your brother Travis is now
Toronto,
with Toronto,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's that going to be like for you?
It's good. I get to play him twice a year. Dad's coming over. That's always nice. So he's actually planning to come over during that Toronto-Boston matchup in Boston, which would be cool. So the second one. So that's cool. I think that's like a salute to Service Day and stuff. So it'd be a good one for Dad to come. But it's cool. I mean, I obviously chat with him a lot. We've probably got to keep tactics a little bit intact now since we're based on the East Coast. But he's confident, mate. He's saying, I think people are writing off Toronto. So we're not writing them off, you know. Yeah,
they've changed. I guess they've changed their mantra somewhat because they were developing. You got 2/3 of their promising young front row with you guys now, and Cole Keith, and Q. And Quatrin. So
there's a lot of good players. I mean, Toronto's done really well, like with their youth program stuff. I know the Air's done a lot, and I think for Rugby Canada, it's good getting these guys. I mean, these guys like Cole and that you know, they might want it to change now, and like we can provide it for them. There's an opportunity now for some younger guys. So from a Rugby Canada perspective, I'm really happy with it because you know, you get guys getting up now into the big ranks and stuff like that. So it's exciting.
Aren't you Canadian? Because folks at home is hearing a Kiwi accent. So
he always plays this game.
We're going to be right back with a quiz of about Canadian stuff with Josh Larsen, the incumbent captain of the New England Free Jacks, right after this.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
And we are back with the incumbent captain of the Free Jacks, Mr. Josh Larsen. Josh, we left the audience with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And we're going to quiz you on your Canadianism. All right?
All right, mate.
Okay. Because you were born in Canada.
Born in Canada.
In British Columbia.
Yep,
right?
British Columbia, Vancouver Island.
All right. So that's a province, right? British Columbia?
British Columbia.
Okay. So how many provinces in Canada?
There are 10, actually, Matt, if you don't know that.
Ooh, okay. So smarty pants.
Yeah. And actually 3 territories. Oh, you just there you go. Yeah.
Oh, now he's showing off. How many NHL teams were in the original setup of the league when it started?
NHL teams, 6.
Name
6
them.
originals. Okay, let's go. Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs, Detroit Red Wings, New York Rangers. I believe. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Ottawa.
Chicago.
Oh yeah, Chicago Blackhawks.
And oh man, how could you? Everybody in Canada is going to be on you for this, especially those that speak French.
Stitch up here. Oh yeah, sorry, Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, how do you forget the Habs?
The Habs.
I know. He's under fire, ladies and gentlemen. So you would fold under this pressure too. What does a 2022 Josh Larsen say to a 2023 Josh Larsen? What have you learned? What do you think your tweaks that you might implement in this coming season?
Got to go 3-0 against New York.
I
think New York.
And how do you welcome in the new faces?
It's good. So we got
Is there like
Canadian
a ritual
guys
or something, or
eh? No, I mean, we had a good get-together the other thing. We got our mini-team. As you can see the cup there.
Yes.
The mini-team cup.
This thing is an incentive thing to keep you guys competitive during the season.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll use it for conditioning games. We'll use it for weekly quizzes. Just sort of anything we can create a bit of competition, which massive on.
Who do you hate losing more to, Toronto or New York?
New York. I feel like
It's that rivalry.
It's that rivalry. People in the community here really care, like I said. And also, there's just been some more meaningful games lately. Like, take the rivalry out of it. There's been more meaningful games of us going against New York at crucial times of the season that I feel that, you know what I mean? And they won it last year as well. So that's the thing. I mean, respect, they're a great team.
All right, final thoughts on the campaign. What's success? What's not success?
Yeah, so I think success is we've got to go one further. I think we're here to win it this year, and mean that. But like I said, I think it's just throughout the year, it's being patient. It's understanding where we're at. Like last year, we won 10 on the row, which was great and stuff. But like I said, I think in some of those changes, we could have sort of fumbled a bit at the end, in all honesty. But it's also, like I said, some key matchups. I think New York's going to probably be the best team in the East. They're looking really outstanding. They're going to be our biggest.
I see what you're doing there. I see. You see, this is psychological warfare right now, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Larsen is the king of psychological warfare.
No, there's going to be some good teams, obviously, like DC and that. So I think, obviously, winning home games is important. We're trying to create this Fort Quincy here. That's a huge thing. So success looks like that for us. Obviously, starting well, a lot of away games to start. So I think balancing those up, and it's fine. You know, if there's a point in the season we're just tracking really nicely, and time it runs to the final, I think it's success. But yeah, we're here to win it. I think that's our main goal. And but also. I think off the field as well, like community. I think we got a bunch of good guys here this year, and I think we're growing this community here, and not sound too boring and stuff, but like really want to grow rugby in New England and stuff. And we can get 5,000-6,000 out here this year. I think that's what success looks like. Yeah. More kids playing the game and stuff, but that and bring the MLR Championship to New England. Well,
I can say, and without lying, because I lie a lot, that this is one of the best rugby environments I have seen anywhere. And
thanks,
you got to come to a match here. It's great. You won't be disappointed. The fan fest, everything is exactly what we need in the American rugby space. If we could duplicate this thing 12 times or 13 times at Miami next year, it would be great. Yeah. Josh, thank you for your time.
Awesome.
Best wishes for the season.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. We'll see you then.
I've been blind since I was 4, and I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer is Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
And we're back with Scott Mathie.
That's it.
Right? The head coach of the New England Free Jacks. Coach, good to see you.
You too, man.
It's been an off season after a very good season for you guys. Yeah. You had a 10-game winning streak, but for a hard loss against New York, you would have been in the league final against the Seawolves. What have you learned?
A lot. I think the key thing is for us was, we had that great season. I think it was unexpected by a lot of people. Just to have us go that well. And I think to a large extent, when we look back at the season, it was a case of we probably weren't there yet to get into the final and go all the way.
You had a 10-game winning streak.
We did, but if you look at those 10 games, most of them were won within 7 points. Really tight.
So you're saying you're the Minnesota Vikings?
No, definitely not that. But I just think that there was lessons to be learnt, and I think lessons to be learnt in gathering more leadership, gathering more cohesion, refining the way we play and having a bit more variation. I think we were really intentional about just being effective last year, and that got us a long way. but I never thought that it was going to be the season where we put everything together. So it kind of was, when I reflect back on it, a great season. But I always felt there, we've got a year 2 plan, a year 3 plan, and that was still the first year of the plan.
So what you'd say is you're ahead of schedule.
I think so, man. I just think we probably just overachieved a bit in year 1. I think sometimes you got to look at it from without a wins and losses perspective, but actually just look at what's been built in the team and what culture you're developing and how you're playing the game and what you'd planned to achieve and set out and how you wanted to play, and then kind of separate yourself from the wins and losses.
Sure.
I know we never really do, but you got to do that when you've got a 3-year plan. There's a clear process you want to follow, and I don't think we were ready.
I mean, the only improvement that you can make in terms of what you did on the pitch is to make the final and then win the final. So you're pretty close in year 1 of that plan.
I think so. Look, we close. I think that the key thing from the beginning was so last year was ready to be really effective in how we played. I think the big thing was also to get a bigger squad, so that we can handle injuries and things like that. I think what we've done this year is that we've really been intentional about our recruitment to get more depth. So I think that's part of the intention there. Really start to look at how we develop our North American base, because I think that the league's going to be probably a bit stricter on foreign spots going ahead. We don't know, but we just want to be aligned to making sure that we've got our R's dotted and our T's crossed.
It's a long season, right? And it's a contact sport, so you're going to have guys that need time off for injury. You're going to have guys that need time off just to get them some time off. And with that, you're pretty stacked at certain positions in particular. Number 9, right? You've got 3 solid scrum halves, and in the back row, you've got arguably the best back row in the league. How do you keep these guys happy?
Man, I really believe, and I think part of what's been so successful here is the aside from rugby. I think a lot of teams will focus all the efforts on the rugby element, but I genuinely believe if you're not focusing as much effort in how you build culture and how you build belonging, then you're missing everything. I mean, guys, professional rugby players, not only when they come to the States, they not only want to improve, they want to know that they're going to get better, but they also want to have an experience where they know they're going to be in an environment that is going to support them, it's going to care for them, and then that they can enjoy. So I think a lot of our efforts go into doing that, and that's a variety of things that we put in place.
You are dodging this question.
Well, no. I think we've got a rugby process. We have leaders across all our rugby areas, but we've got the same thing on the culture side. So we've got guys that are in charge of shared experiences.
Okay.
We've got guys that are in charge of mini teams.
And we've got this cup.
You've got the mini team trophy here. So we have, and it's a concept that is used in teams across the world. But we would like to think that we take it to the next level.
So it's an in-season thing to keep the guys competitive.
Exactly, and competition is one of the key pillars of what we're about. We recruit guys that are highly competitive. That's one of the key things that we're looking for. So this just drives that same agenda for us, and we get really creative about the competitions that we're having, and that can range from on-field stuff, and it can be quizzes, it can be any type of competition.
For this cup.
For that
but
cup.
I hear the prizes are good.
The prize is awesome.
Can you give us an example?
Well, last year.
Or do we have to turn the camera off?
You don't have to turn the camera off. It's the more the guys know about the prizes, the greater the competition. Last year, the boys went on a crazy yacht cruise or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we wanted to make sure.
Was it Eric Anderson's yacht? Because he looks like a yacht model.
No, but the big thing was for us is that we want to make the prizes on these things really big, so that the next year guys come back and they're going,
oh, hey,
last year. So and it's just an awesome way of just always being able to generate energy and generate competition in your environment. Man, we're really process driven. Like I know it's a boring answer to give you, but we just know if we get the right guys in the room and we work our balls off, like we have been, and we just continue with the plan, which is just getting a little bit more variation in our game and creating more cultural element to our off the field stuff, that we're just going to keep improving.
Yeah,
and that's good enough for me. That's what we want to be on.
It's working so far.
I think it's stable, man. I keep saying to guys is we're not just building. We're not building just a team here. It's about a franchise. It's about a club. How are under-18s doing? How are collegiate guys who've just gone down and won the collegiate championships? I mean, these are all things we've been putting in place and getting just cohesion amongst coaches that from the amateur to these guys all kind of getting on the same plan. This is how we play. This is how we want to play. And we've spent time with these guys here and coaching. So
wait a minute, are you telling me that an MLR team is developing players that could actually represent the Eagles at some point?
Maybe Canada, if you look at the Free Jacks.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think a key point for that is that I think it's very I don't know if it's naive to measure how many American players you have now. I think the key thing is to measure how many guys we're going to have in 5-10 years time. And I think that's what we're doing. So you might not see it in the team now. You've seen your Cam Davidovits, your Zach Bastries, and these guys, and we've got a larger Canadian influence, but what we're doing at under 18, what we're doing with the collegiate stuff, how we're trying to create a pipeline towards. And
that was the NCR All-Star competition down in Houston.
Yeah, and they did great, man. We had seen the 3 sides there, and
great experiences.
It is, and they've won it 2 years in a row now. But I just think what we're doing in the back room staff for coaches, but for the players too. I mean, we've got a lot of those guys joining us for training, and they did so in the North American camp, which happened in November. And if we just create that pipeline, I think there's a better judge on how many American guys you're producing, I think, in the next 4 years or next 5 years, than it is just to say, look now and go, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coach, I'm wearing the Woodgy hat, which is the mascot for the New England Free Jacks, and a controversial mascot because you never see Alex Magleby and Woodgy in the same place at the same time. So I'm convinced that Woodgy is indeed Alex Magleby.
Theory. I like it.
Is that?
I like the hat, by the way. It looks really good on you.
Thank you. Can you comment at all on this growing conspiracy?
No comment.
No comment. That just feeds the conspiracy. But let's talk about John Bradshaw Layfield.
Oh, the man.
Co-host on the Rugby Odds. This hat will give him fuel to attack me. What do you say to that? What do you say to the despicable John Bradshaw Layfield, who was not loyal to your team because he came up here? Didn't he speak to your guys?
He spoke to us.
And he got a jersey, and now he picks against you all the time.
Maybe he's just doing that just to encourage us to be more on edge,
You're giving him credit for being somewhat intelligent. And
I just, the fact he spoke to the boys, he gave a real impassioned speech, and I think we won that game. Yeah. A win's a win. So we got one notch on the column with JBL, so hopefully next year we'll get another one, eh?
Is there one thing that last year you say, oh, God, I wish I had to do that over again?
I didn't really have. I think the best thing that someone said to me, asked me a question. He said, "Well, what's your favorite failure?" And it's always resonated with me. Like, oh, that's an awesome way to look at it.
That's a good question.
And I probably need a bit more time to reflect on what was my favorite failure from last year. But I like to think that a lot of those things, there were just so many learnings across the season, and I had to pick out one. It'd be hard to say that there was no isolated incident that I'd go, sure, we really got that one wrong, It's quite in-depth. I'm one of those guys that need time to let that marinate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're on the internet, Coach. So it's not. We don't. People have the attention span of gnats.
But I'm sure there were lots. There were lots of learnings last year. But yeah.
Fair enough, Coach. Thank you for coming on.
Awesome.
Much appreciated. Great facility you guys have here at the Mint. Right?
Yep. It is the Mint, and thanks for having me on here, man. It's really great to actually do this show here. It's our new home. The players are so pumped about it, and they've got lots of energy flowing in here, so it's great.
Beware the Free Jacks. Thank you, Coach Scott Mathie. And on that note, we're out of time. What a great show it was. Thank you, Free Jacks. Thank you, Scott Mathie. Thank you, Josh Larsen, thank you, John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, and thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other episodes, including the Rugby Odds, the College Rugby Wrap-Up. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross Blood Donor Team.